Welcome to another episode of Sweet 915. I'm your host, Curtis, and my lovely co host
It's me, Fedora.
is me,
Hey, Curtis.
Fedora. Hey, what's going on? It's Thanksgiving weekend. I'm looking kind of rough because I ain't get a fresh cut yet. So, you kind of see a little bit of gray hairs and stuff like that. But,
It's all
with
right.
age, what they say, with age comes
Age
wisdom.
gracefully.
So with
Wisdom.
age comes wisdom. So,
Hmm.
I'm gonna share this knowledge with y'all and everything. And it's NFL Sunday, and my team didn't play today. We got some things going on with coronavirus, so we didn't get to play today. So I don't have anything to brag about except
Who's
for the
your team?
Cowboys. The Cowboys lost on Thanksgiving Day, their annual
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
yeah, I did
Yeah.
see that
You
game.
see that one?
Yeah, I did.
That's good. That's good. You watch a little football. That's good stuff, Fedora.
Yeah,
So how
just
you
a
been?
little
How was
bit.
your Thanksgiving?
It was great. Nice, peaceful, quiet,
Yeah, that's
relaxing.
good. That's good.
Hmm.
For me, Thanksgiving, I got an opportunity to see some family members and stuff like that. So, uh, with a lot going on and people passing away that you may not have the opportunity to see, I took a chance to come out and see some of my family members. That's why you see my little backdrop I'm setting up here. So, but as you know, the show must go on. So therefore, I was like, hey, I got a show to do. So this is what I'm going to do right here. I'm gonna set this thing up, and we're gonna do what we got to do.
Yep.
So what do you eat? Your vegan stuff?
Yes, actually, I was listening to. At first, I was going to fix like a shrimp. I'm not a shrimp, but a crab
Mm-hmm.
pasta, like casserole that I fixed. That's really good. So I
Mm-hmm.
was going to have that meat, but I cooked for my daughter and her boyfriend and brother. So I fixed ham for them. But for
Outstanding. Great.
me, yeah, for me, I had to, fix something that was meatless. So I fixed all the vegetables, and then I found it's by Field
Mhm.
Roast. That's the company, and it's like
Yeah.
a hazelnut um hazelnut cranberry loaf roast
Okay.
or whatever. Yeah, and I fixed that. It's breaded on the outside. Tabitha Brown. I was watching her
Oh yeah, Talent
IG.
Chance, right? Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah, I was
they're funny.
watching hers,
They're funny.
and she told me about it. And she actually fixed one, so I was
Okay.
like, "Oh, I could try that." So I ran out that Wednesday and picked it up. Found one and
Okay.
picked it up, and yeah, and ate it, and it was good. I ate it with instead of the ham, I ate that.
Okay. Outstanding. Outstanding. So I took a chance on traveling, but I didn't fly though. I
You drove?
scared. Yeah, I drove. I'm
Oh my
scared.
gosh.
Scary like that. My nephew teased me the whole time while I was traveling, but I was like, look, bro, got my COVID test. I took a COVID test before I left. It said
Mhm.
negative, and I'm trying to stay negative
Okay.
going and coming. You feel what I'm saying? So before I
Mhm.
leave where I'm at, I'm going to take another COVID test to ensure that I don't have COVID.
Mhm.
So I'm taking it serious. So I took the necessary precautions because I got my nieces and nephews and they're young, and I don't want to take the chance of either getting it from them or giving it to them. So I took the necessary precautions prior to. I
Mhm.
took it the week before I was leaving. Uh,
Mhm.
and I got it back before I left. Right before I left, they emailed it to me. So it didn't take that long. It's a very uncomfortable procedure, but
Yep.
I just took a deep breath and took it like a man and got it over with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
So I guess I take it that you had the
yes,
nasal
yes,
one,
they
and
they
not
they
the.
they did my left nasal. And I saw them unlike what I've been seeing people post that they don't change their gloves and all. They did all that. I mean, it was a new set of gloves. She put the whole new outfit on because I watched for all that stuff. And the package came and she tore the package right in front of me. She did the little nasal thing. She broke the stick, sealed it right in front of me, sealed the bag, and wrote my name on the bag, information, and she went took it where it had to go. And like I'll
Mhm.
say about a day later, maybe 2 days later, I got my results back. So
Did
like I
you go
said,
through a drive-through or
yeah,
to a clinic?
yes,
Drive-through.
I went to a drive-through at UTEP. At
Oh,
UTEP. I waited about 15 minutes at the longest, and it was pretty good. Like I said, it was uncomfortable because when it got to the back, I had to take a deep breath because I was like, oh, you know.
it'll make your eyes water.
Right, right. So yeah, my eyes was watering. So for me, it was like, oh God, I never had this done before. So
Mhm.
it was. like I said, it was uncomfortable, but it's bearable. You know, it's nothing that's going to make you lose your mind, but it you know, makes your eye water for a little
Yeah.
bit after it, and
And
then
it's only a couple of seconds.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. So I understand that you guys have to take it all the time. Those that are in contact with students and nursing homes, so they have to do it more often than we do. So I guess they're accustomed to it, but I'm not. I wasn't accustomed to that. But I got to do it again. So hopefully I'm aware of what's going on, and it won't be so bad the second time around. Yeah. So I just want to share a little information with you about, since we're catching up and talking about Thanksgiving. According to the Transportation Security Administration uh, in El Paso, like they say, there's like 1 million people that travel, and over 6.8 million people travel by air during for the Thanksgiving holiday. So with COVID, I think people understand the seriousness of it, but they didn't want it to control their lives. So I
yeah,
don't know how you feel about that, but that's the, I don't want it to control my life, but then I don't want it to stop some of the things that I always do traditionally, like go visit my family during the holidays.
Mhm.
I just, took the necessary safety precautions to ensure that if I caught it, I know where I got it from. Not just I'm jumping on a plane and while I was here, I saw some news that they weren't clean the planes. They just spraying the stuff in the air, and I'm like, wait a minute, shouldn't you be wiping the seats down?
They have
So
you wipe it down.
that ain't my job.
They
I'm
give you
paying
these
you all this
little,
money. That's not my
they
job
give
to
you
wipe
a
the
little
seats down.
alcohol wipe, and they have you wipe it down.
Alcohol wipe.
Alcohol wipe. So that's
Okay.
why I say you better be prepared. Bring your wipes.
Yeah.
Have your PPE suit on. Have your shield, your mask.
Okay.
If you need to wear gloves in certain areas, wear gloves. I have this spray that I use that I spray on stuff that's
Okay.
supposed to kill. It's called, I can't even remember the name of it, but it's supposed to kill stuff. I got it from Sam's, and it's for bacteria, viruses, and
Okay.
you spray it on hard surfaces, and it. But yeah, I have my wipes. I spray. If you don't have a PPE suit, you can get like a painter suit and put that on.
Mhm.
People call me extra, but call me what you want. I'm still here.
Yeah.
And you can also, a good idea is to use and I know this may sound silly, but the puppy pads that you
Yeah. Yeah.
get for puppies,
Yeah.
you can use that to cover your seat with, if you would like, and then you can just toss that, once you
Okay.
get off. And you only need it going, and the second plane, if there's a layover, you getting on that plane and then coming back. So maybe about 6 of them or whatever, carry them with you,
Okay.
and use those, to base your seat if you don't want to wear like PPE, a
Okay.
jumpsuit or something to cover your seat. And yeah, just preferably if you're traveling with another person, you can have that person sit next to you. But if you're traveling alone, try to sit where nobody else will be sitting immediately next to you. Yeah, and just make sure you have that face shield and your mask under it, and even glasses, like if you wear glasses or goggles or whatever. But
Okay.
just being safe to do it, when you go, using those precautionary measures. And people can say what they want about you, but hey,
Hey,
do
I'm
you.
trying
Don't
to
worry
live,
about it. You
be
want to be
another
safe.
day. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
So
nobody's going to protect yourself as much as you will protect
right.
yourself. So
Yeah.
don't leave it under anybody else's control for your safety other than you.
Hmm. So my daughter and I went to see the new Crocs movie. Guess that's what
What
it's
is
called.
it?
Crocs movie. Crocs.
Rocks?
Cruise. It's a cartoon. So
Oh,
yeah.
oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Right. So we went
The
to see that
rugs or
while
something.
I was home, and yeah, she went to sit down. I was like, "Hey, pull out them wipes I gave you." So we have some kind of, it's wipes, but it's like it kills 99% of the germs as well. And I purchased a pack of those, and we wiped down the whole seat, armrest, everything before we sat down. And people were looking at us like, I was like, yeah, you don't have no mask on. We have a mask
What?
on.
You have people good?
I'm
Are
not
you
going to tell you.
serious?
I can't tell the people where I'm at because then they'll talk about my little state. But yeah, home where I'm from, these jokers is walking around with no mask on and closed in areas. I'm like, yo,
That's
yeah.
ludicrous.
So while I've been here, I only went to like two places. I've been home. I've been in where I. That's it. I
Mhm.
haven't went out and seen a lot because I'm like, nah, just I don't trust it at all.
Mhm.
So I've been just chilling. So you know that the elections is over. I think the state of Georgia has the recount, and he still lost.
Oh yeah,
So tell
yeah.
me so tell me why you mad. I don't understand it. And he doesn't want to leave the White House. I don't understand it. You lost. You're
Yes.
supposed to leave. The vice president, the president elect, he's coming in. So I spoke to a friend of mine,
Especially.
and
Uh
she
huh.
says if he doesn't leave come January 20th, when he's installed as the new president of the United States, they will put him out.
Yeah,
And
they
then
will.
they will put him out physically.
Uh-huh. Physically. But
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna allow it to come to that because of his pride and
Yeah.
the narcissistic person that he is.
There
I
goes
don't
that.
think he would allow that. That'd be too, it's already a blow to his ego, and
Yeah.
he has to create these fantasies,
Mm,
these, alternate realities in his
right.
head in order for him to continue to breathe
Mm,
and move about in society.
mm,
So you will hear all this crazy fantasy stuff, and the people that are around him still drinking the Kool-Aid. I don't know what he has on them, but he must know where all the bodies are buried for them to really be following behind him
yeah.
and saying some of the stuff they're saying. I'm like, whoa, what does he have on you
Right.
that you're really on national television saying this ludicrous stuff when you
Hmm.
know that it is really false? Like, it's
Yeah.
not true. But I mean, hey, like, he has to create this, alternate universe for himself, for him to be able to sleep at night or walk around and kind of like save face. So
Yeah.
it's comical, but it's really sad that someone else had to step in and say, hey, we're turning over the reins to the president and vice president elect.
Hmm.
And, then he tries to come back and say, oh, he gave permission. No, sweetheart, you did it.
Mm,
You were crying like a baby, and now they had to step in and say, hey, since you won't do it the right way, we're going to have to do it for you.
right.
So there are things in place. So like all the commentation and the news and speaking over and over and repeating it and back and forth, I'm just
Yeah.
like, I'm over it. I know who's my president now, and thank God, that the nation will take a turn. Even other people, other countries are excited about us, the democracy and getting back to the United States of America, because he had us not united
Right.
at
Yeah.
all,
I
not
agree
even
with
in
that.
the state.
We were we
So
were we were divided during his presidency, whether he agrees
yeah,
with that or not.
yeah,
Um, friends may have turned to enemies over his people supporting him
yeah,
based on his position with the rich versus the not so rich
yeah.
or people in
A
poverty,
working class.
the working class, right? He
Mhm.
want to throw everybody else. He want to throw you a chip or a bone, and oh, he's so great, but you still poor. You still struggling to pay bills and live comfortably in life. You know what I mean? Especially during the pandemic, and he's
Mhm.
throwing you a little a check, and you're like, oh, he's the greatest. No, he's not. You know,
Mhm.
it's just like Ronald Reagan giving everybody cheese, and they was like, oh, he's the greatest. Well, had we stopped worrying about nuclear warheads and things like that, I think the money would have been spent a little differently, and we wouldn't have been in the position that we were in at that time. So,
Mhm.
you know. So what are your expectations of the vice president elect?
I mean, I think she's gonna. It's gonna be a new wave, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, we can get the, what is it, the House, or it's the Senate.
Yeah, I
Mm.
think one of I don't remember which one it is, but one of them
So
we
yeah, we need that in order for everything to be passed, or they're gonna do them like they did Obama and the things that he wanted to do and tried to do, and probably will be able to get some things done now that Biden is in, will be blocked. So it's very important. I know this week is like, I don't know, in Georgia, I think they need to vote for runoff or something, just like us.
One of those seats will determine whether
it's Democratic or Republican.
Democrat or Republican retains or wins both houses. I think that the House of Representatives.
So prayerfully, we won't give up the reins that we have, and to know that our vote is powerful and that it counts. That Georgians will go out to the polls and vote, however they want to vote, but vote hopefully, for us to get back so we can have some progress. Otherwise, it's just going to still be like a stalemate, because he's not going to be able to get the things done that he wants to get done. And I know it's a lot as far as the judicial system, as far as our place in the world, getting back with some of these, the world, whatever meetings or whatever we were,
with the world powers, with the allies that we have, sitting back at the table and try to reestablish some of those things that were lost during the Trump administration. I agree with that. I think that should be one of his focuses, as well as hers. With the Secretary of Defense, they need to sit down and start thinking about ways to re-engage those conversations so that we can reestablish those relationships that we have.
Relationships.
With I'm gonna tell you a comment that I heard that was made to I keep saying Vice President, but the President-elect. Don't forget about who got you in the office. What are your thoughts about that? And you know what I'm talking about, the people of color and blacks.
Well, I mean, he thanked us, and I was glad that he realized that and knew that. And that helped us know the people who are, I guess, lax, or what the youth would say, oh, they're tired or what have you, would to know that your vote does count. Because some people were still questioning, like, does my vote really count? Yes, it counts. Why do you think they come to our churches when it's voting time? And that's the only time you see them. Why do because we change votes. We swing, from one to the other. We do things. So we need to recognize our own power. And for so long, that has not been recognized amongst us as a people. And, we've been drinking the Kool-Aid or not really realizing our power. And, we have it. And so use it in a positive way. Use it, use your voice, and then get out and, do things in your community. And like Stacey Abrams did in Georgia. I mean, even though she didn't win, but she saw where there was a need, and she got out and did that door knocking and the grassroots, and, connecting people who would not have had an opportunity to vote, to get them to vote. I mean, it was a beautiful thing, and she turned that state blue, baby. Yes. So
I think, what I know, one thing that I've heard that he has already started working on is tuition. He's trying to tuition forgiveness, like allowing them to, he's going to wipe away some of their tuition that's owed, tuition debt.
Okay, let me get in line there.
Yes, some of the college students, he's working on that. So some of the college students are very, very appreciative of that, and they're happy about that. But he's working on that. That's one of the things he's working on currently. I saw in the news recently that he is trying to work on that. So that's a positive thing. What I don't want is, from my perspective, I don't expect him to come in and change the world in a day. I think that some of the things that he said that he was going to do, I think we need to start with the relationships with other countries, for one, reestablishing the economy, to start working on this COVID thing, and so that
already got that team.
So he started that team. However, they're not letting him, the stuff that he should already know, Donald Trump is blocking with his team, you know what I'm saying, stuff that he knows that he's working on. So I think
But he didn't even have a team. Didn't he dismantle his team?
He did, but those people, I think he's trying to put a
where they can't talk to them,
right? Where they can't talk to them, type of thing, you know. So that's some of the things that they're talking about. But you'll see it during the news. You'll see it or certain social medias. They'll say, "Yeah, he told me this," but I've shared this information with President-elect Biden's team, you know, or they'll say things publicly, like, but they won't say, well, I didn't, like this guy was saying he didn't tell the president-elect's team, but he's just stating that this is where the next step for COVID should be, or what's the next direction with that. So, and they talked about.
But I mean, with him firing them and getting rid of the whole team, they shouldn't be obligated to listen to anything he has to say anyway. And yeah. I would be like, okay, if Biden's team contacts them, then they should be free to, you know, give him information, or to whomever, you know, was on the team asking. But he has some heavy hitters and some people who are already in the line of knowledge. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he might not even really need them anyway, because they probably weren't really doing anything anyway, fooling around with Trump.
So with the vice president, I know I asked you expectations from her, but as a vice president, I think some of the things that I would like to see changed, some of the laws that are putting African Americans in jail. I think some of those things need to be changed. I'm not saying that you have to be for the Black community, but I think all men in general, all women in general, for certain crimes that they're getting 20 years for compared to a white person. I think they need to start working on, as her being a vice president, I think that's her lane. They need to start talking to the Supreme Court justices and start changing those laws back to where it's you know, I'm not saying you won't get away with it, but I'm saying is
it needs to be fair. It needs to be equal.
Right. If you got 20 whatever pounds of marijuana but he got a valve of crack cocaine and he got two whatever things of crack cocaine, and he getting 30 years, and all you get is 5 for a pound of weed, that doesn't add up. So I think that we need to relook at some of those laws. I think she needs to get involved with that stuff because that's her areas of expertise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they will.
But they say criminal justice reform what they focus on righting the wrongs done to people of color. So hopefully that comes in and that's their focus. But other than that, I really don't know her that well. I just know some of the things that they said when she was in California, and which she says that's not true. When it was brought to her attention about her putting Blacks in jail and for certain crimes, and the 3-strike law that she focused on when she was a lawyer and stuff, and or DA, whatever she did in California. I think that I think we should give her a chance. That's all I'm saying, you know, and not expect so much from her because she's Black, like we did Obama, and just say Obama didn't do anything for Black people. And my thing was, okay, so he's a Black president. You think he's just supposed to do?
Forget about everybody else.
Yeah, forget about everybody else and just focus on Black people and giving y'all reparations and all that. No. Come on, let's be
and realistic. Then the things that he tried to do, he was blocked. So that's why I'm like, we got to start local. You got to start at home. You got to make sure that you vote like locally, and with these judges and with these like court appeals and all of that stuff. We got to start doing homework, because a lot of these people, they're not even opposed. Like nobody else runs or nobody else goes against them. Like, and then start talking to some of these people who have been in their courtrooms to get the truth, right? From them, to find out, hey, how were you treated? You know, what kind of language were they using? Was it, you know, discriminatory? Was it, you know, like,
did you
tell us what's up?
What was being said to you?
Yeah, like, do they sit way up here and then look down, or are they here, you know, with the people and being compassionate or whatever? We need to know these things so we can get them out, or they can stay in and give them more help, you know, give them more programs and things of that nature. So yeah, we must do our homework when it comes to that.
Okay. So the national pandemic, I know you're serious about this. Fedora. It's one of your pet peeves, right? So should there be a shutdown nationally? According to Dr. Michael Osterholm, a coronavirus advisor to President-elect Joe Biden, says that a national nationwide lockdown would bring the virus under control. He also says that he reiterated that it was a recommendation, keyword recommendation, and not something he recommended to the rest of Biden's COVID advisory board. And Biden transition official told NBC News that a shutdown is not in the president-elect's thinking right now. What are your thoughts about that?
If it needs, what is when they say a national shutdown, what does that look like? Because I think it causes fear in people, but we're already to a point where too many people are dying, hospitals are filled. So if there needs to be a national shutdown, then shut it down. Like sometimes, you know how when you have babies, right, and you childproof your house, or you tell them if the stove is hot, don't touch, hot, and you have to tell them to save them from being burned,
right?
Or you're gonna stop a person from crawling off a cliff or walking off a cliff. At some point, people are not smart enough to protect themselves. Then we have to protect them. The government has to. So I don't have a problem with that. If there needs to be, for the sake of the hospitals and for more people not dying, hey, I'm all for it. But I think it causes panic in other people, and they're like, no, because they don't know what that looks like. So they need to give a picture and tell what is being shut down, because you're still gonna have to go to work. You're still gonna have to, get gas. You're still gonna have to get food. So what does that look like? Is it curfew? By a certain time, what does that entail? And I think once they map that out, if it has to be, then people will be less panicky about it and not buying up all the toilet paper. I don't know what that was about still, but
all the toilet paper, all the water, all the soap, bleach, all the bleach wipes, if it say bleach, Clorox, white,
Lysol. Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, just like with the I guess curfew here and the back and forth with the magistrate and the mayor, a lot of confusion. But I mean, I was abiding by the curfew. I mean, it was fine. I think it helped. Not too many people were probably on the streets, but I mean, we have to do. I mean, people are dying. This is serious. This is not a joke. So do what you need to do. Because some people, like you say, don't wear a mask or wearing it wrong, past the nose. I'm like, come on. You look like you about to drop right now. You old, put that mask up. I need to make some shirts and put, if you close enough to read this, back it up. Back up off me, man. Back it up. 6 feet. 6 feet. You so turn around giving side eyes.
So one of our viewers is saying if Biden goes by the statistics in vital areas, he thinks that the shutdown should apply on a scale basis. Applying shutdown in the high risk areas, every other area should be on a scale that applies according to the population that is affected by COVID-19.
That would make sense.
I could agree with that. Like for instance, El Paso being on, like you said, the shutdown, but I think the way he did it is what bothered me. I think the judge. I think, he's shutting down from this. That's like, come on, man. We got
the way he did it.
But what you mean the way he did it? He just say we shutting down. The numbers is getting high. Okay.
Yeah.
But the EMS guy told you what was really going on. Why we didn't address that?
What did he tell?
What's coming? Like they say, it doesn't matter if you came from New Mexico, if you came from East Texas, Arizona, you flew in here to visit your family. If you went to the hospital, you got counted for COVID. You got counted for COVID. He didn't look at that.
If you went to the hospital.
If you went to the hospital, you counted for COVID, and you went to the hospital for COVID and got tested, and you came positive. You counted as El Paso numbers. It didn't say, oh, he just came from Juarez.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, this is my thought process. You know how people come from overseas, how they come from overseas, right? And you have to sign a declaration of where you've been. It's too easy. It's a piece of paper. When you come out that doggone thing, before you get to go get your
baggage.
Your baggage, you fill that form out. All you need to say is, where did you come from?
Yeah.
Right? Your name, your address, email address, and phone number, and where you came from. That's it. Drop it in the box and keep it moving. That way, if your name comes up in the system as you catching COVID, they can say, oh, Curtis Smith flew from Chicago, Illinois on this day. He was out. He was there for. And then when they call and ask me, I say, oh yeah, I was there for a month. You know, he flew into El Paso from here. He now has COVID. See what I'm saying? So now we have a better database of where it came from. So you can say people are catching it from traveling outside of El Paso. People are catching it from coming from Juarez and going back and forth because they're essential workers that work in the United States, but they live in Juarez. So they have to go back to Juarez and be with whoever, God knows whoever, and they keep coming back and forth. So now they came from Juarez and they caught COVID, or they got, you know, we just need
it'll be a better tracking system.
A better tracking system. But during the election process, when that was brought up as a question, they were saying we don't want to do that. But then all of a sudden, when the numbers got higher, then now we want to shut down the whole city from 10 to 5. No this, and you got to be off the streets. And then you want to implement more stuff saying, oh, if you get caught out there after 10, you can get a ticket or you can get arrested. Come on, man. Let's sit down and think about it. And then the mayor and the judge not on the same shit of music. And then now we got the blame game going on. Oh, it was Veronica Escobar and the judge. Man, look, we don't want to hear all that. I don't want to hear all that. I want to give me the plan of action. What's the plan of action? And the plan of action is not always just to shut down immediately. You need to do your research and find out what are the causes. Is it people traveling? Is it the border? Is it people having large gatherings, more than 10 people? Is it that? What's it coming from?
Yeah, people still having gatherings. People still congregating without masks. My thing is, be safe. Have your bubble. Yeah. Stop, being around people that's not in your bubble. Go and get tested to make sure, because you could be asymptomatic. A lot of that is going around now. The people have no symptoms. Right. They're fine, but they're carriers of it and they don't necessarily know it. So go out, get yourself tested, find out, make sure you're negative. And if you're negative, stay negative. Like you said, I've been tested. I know I'm clear. I'm negative. Boom. And if you start to feel some type of way, like sick or whatever, quarantine yourself, call your doctor, take over-the-counter meds, and prayerfully it doesn't get any worse because this is flu season. And then just keep that immune system up and stay in if you don't need to go out. Shoot, there's not too much to do here in El Paso anyway. Where are all these people trying to go? Stay in the house. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. You got Netflix.
Fedora says stay in the house. But Fedora, people like Monica saying, people are still not wearing masks, which is scary to me. It's like, are y'all taking it serious? Put your mask on.
I saw this little old lady at the post office, and she did. Everybody in the post office in line was 6 feet apart, had masks on, and me and this man locked eyes. We were looking at each other like, did she really just walk up in here? And she old and little, and she on the phone talking to somebody, and she don't have a mask on. I was like, every time she walked, I looked at her to make sure she was way over there, and I was where I was at, because I'm like, do you see the yellow circle on the ground? Do the line. Do not cross it.
You need to be in the circle. You need to be in the circle. You're too close. But then you'll cause. And I've been in some places where they've come in without a mask and nothing is said to them.
Ooh.
Yeah. there's nothing said to them like, hey, you can't come in here without, you need to put a mask on. But everybody's looking at that person like, yo, where your mask at? Something wrong? You know. So then
It's not belong.
if I didn't need what I needed, I probably would have left. I'm like, yo, yeah, y'all playing, y'all, you're not saying anything to them.
How do you feel about us as citizens saying stuff to people who like checking them? Like, excuse me, but you're not 6 feet. Or excuse me, can you pull your mask up over your nose? Excuse me, you don't have a mask. Do you need a mask? Here you go. How do you feel about that? I haven't gotten to that point yet, and I don't know, because I know my voice can be very like authoritative and like rude, and I don't want to come off that way. So I kind of just like bridle my tongue. But how do you feel about people doing that?
You know what I've done, Fedora? When I got to the register or I saw somebody that worked there, I say, so y'all don't have to wear a mask in here? And they say, oh, yes, we do. And I say, that person ain't got no mask on. And then they'll go and say, excuse me, ma'am or sir, you have to have a mask on. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. Because I'm not going to be the one, because they're going to say, because they're going to say, what's it to you? Like you say, I can be a little aggressive at times, because I'm like, yo, I'm trying to live, but you're not taking this thing seriously. You in the store, you outside the little 6 feet bubble. Now you invading my space. So you need to back up, put your mask on, or leave. But they're walking in there. The little kid ain't got no mask on. I'm like, what are we doing? So then that's what I do. I get to the register and I say,
oh, tell on them. Okay, that's good.
Y'all don't have to wear a mask in here? They're like, oh, yes, we do. And I said, well, they ain't got no mask on.
I'm gonna do that. Okay, I'm gonna do that next time.
Is that snitching, Fedora?
I'm gonna find. No, I'm gonna do that next time, because I've been battling with myself, like, should I or shouldn't I? And then I'm like trying to think of like a nice tone to say it. But at that point, you kind of like pissed off, like, how you will come up in here without a mask? Don't you see all these people with a mask on? So that means you need to have one, or stay out, send somebody else to the store if you don't have one. If you need one, here, I carry extras in my purse. So here you go.
Yeah.
Like,
So I know some people got something to say about this. So the local mayor runoff seems to be for the mayoral office, and District 4 is getting hot. I've been getting a lot of texts and phone calls, and hey, listen, I voted already. I'm going to vote again. I encourage everybody to vote again. If you want the right person in office, I encourage you to get back out there and vote again. It's getting heated, and every time I turn on my Facebook page or the news, I see Mayor Dean Margo out, and then the other mayor, his ads is popping up on my phone, and I'm like, what?
Oscar Lisa.
Yeah. So I mean,
condolences goes to his family, because he just lost his mom.
Oh yeah, condolences to the
Lisa family.
Yeah. So, condolences to him. Especially during the holidays, man. It's hard to lose a loved one, a relative during this time of the year, because it takes a lot out of you, and then you don't want to celebrate that time again. But I encourage everybody to get out there and vote again. I know you just voted, but it's only District 4 and the mayor.
District 4 too. Yeah, District 4 representative shouldn't even been a runoff, but So let's get out and vote. Don't be tired. Get out and vote.
Yep. It only takes a second. It's not going to take that long. I worked the polls, and I'm sorry we didn't give y'all any water or snacks with that. We're here to vote. We're trying to get you in and get you out. People were asking
in and out.
Y'all have some water or something? Looking at them like, what?
Really?
Water? Yes.
It's COVID. You can't give out stuff. They give you that little bag, you put your little finger on, go in there, do your little thing.
Explain the process, and then I was like, they were like, do you have any water? Who's giving out water?
Nobody.
So, no.
They used to long time ago.
Oh, so COVID. That's why they were asking. That was my first time working the polls for voting. Like I said, people were talking about it, but then I'm like, I got tricked into it. That wasn't my plan. I thought I was just going to help set up and leave. And so I know next time. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
I know, right?
That's all I'm gonna say about that. I know better next time. So yeah. Um, let's see. They're gonna ask. So for the young people that's voting for the first time, they're probably gonna ask, why do they have? They just voted. Why do they have to vote again? I would tell them that it's important because you don't want the wrong person in office. And
Yep.
if you feel like there's some things that you want to happen as a young person, we complain about there's nothing for the young people to do in El Paso. Well, now is your time to let your voice be heard. If you're concerned about the education level in El Paso, your school's not getting what you want, then now it's time to let your voice be heard. If you're concerned about the curfew that's being uh, put in place for you all, now it's time to let your voice be heard. Instead of just, saying, oh, well, now you're wondering why do I have to be in the house by 11 o'clock? Okay, well, when you had the opportunity to let your voice be heard and vote against it, you did. So that's why the curfew is in place. Yeah. Wow. So Ms. Tucker says that
That's true. Education is definitely
education
needed.
is needed. Yeah. Some
A
people,
lot of people. Mm-hmm.
education is needed, but the question is, how do we educate them? Because I also worked the voter registration booths, and I had information pamphlets to hand out, but some people didn't understand that because I had some Hispanics that really couldn't read that well. So their sons or daughters had to explain to them what was going on. So there was another process. Let me explain. Let me share this with you. I don't know where I had to. We take the pad out to the vehicles, the curbside voting. So the son was not supposed to tell his mother who to vote for, but she didn't understand the voting process, so he had to help her. So he was telling her who to vote for.
Mm-hmm.
Like standing outside the car, I'm like, wow. So she really doesn't understand the voting process. So how do we educate them on the seriousness of voting and voting for the right person? Some people can understand the seriousness of it by being educated. So maybe we can incorporate that in, I don't know, economics in high school or something like that, or teaching the older people about the importance of elections, especially those like Shaq that has never voted before his life except for this year. Yeah, Shaquille O'Neal said he has never voted in his life except for this year. This is the first year that he's
Oh my goodness. He didn't even vote with Barack.
No, he didn't vote. He said he didn't.
Okay, I'm not gonna judge him. I'm not gonna judge him. So I'm glad he voted this year. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna judge him.
yeah. I say Shaq.
I'm gonna throw that out. But you'd be surprised. And you can look up who voted and who didn't. You can't find out who they voted for, but you can look up and see if they voted. That's public
Information.
yeah, you can look and see, put their name in there and find out when they voted. And it will show you their voting history, when they voted and if they did not vote. Yep,
Okay.
you can put their name in there. So you can find out who is vote, like in your family, who telling the truth and who lying. And I think it goes up to our family members who are privy of it and who are knowledgeable to teach other family members who may not be. And if you are that person to say, hey, if they ask you and say, I don't know who to vote for or whatever, do you know who's good? And they trust you, then it's okay for you to give them a list of who you're voting for and say, hey, if you want to, go with these, or these are the two candidates, maybe make your choice between these two because you've already done your homework. And it does take time, and you have to set time aside to, look it up and find out and weigh yourself, because some people go in and just vote all Democratic. And then, but sometimes you have to go in and read the, the fine print and the information from these candidates and find out who meets or who fits your your thought process, your morals, your values, and vote that way. So if you have someone in your family that can do that, then seek out them, ask them, okay, so who you vote for? Write it down, or say, hey, can you give me your list? And that's okay. Like, for, like you said, that son had to help his mom to vote. Yeah, that's okay, for that to be done. Give them that list and say, hey, here it is, write it down. That's fine. I think it should be like that. I mean, and that will encourage more people to say, hey, this person, or they want to be knowledgeable, about that. Like certain age groups, probably not so much, but, and then you will have to give them a list. But other age groups who are still out and in the working force, need to be able to have those conversations and know, and not just be ignorant to the fact. So, yeah.
Yeah, they for me, when I was in the military, I would call home when I had to submit my absentee ballot. I would call home, and during the local elections, I would always ask, "Who should I vote for?" Because I don't know any of these people. I just wanted to let my voice be heard and let them know that you know I'm voting. So I would call home and ask. Another thing too is when we talk about voting, I think El Paso matters. El Paso matters. I think that's that article that did all of the history on the candidates, told a little bit about their background and stuff like that. And Dynasty also, who did the podcast where she covered and allowed them to speak on what is their platform, because some of them saying, I'm for the people and of the people, and okay, got it. But
what have you done?
who are you and what do you stand for? And I think she brought a lot of that out of the candidates. And then El Paso Matters told us about the in-depth stuff about them, their history, not knowing that some of them had history. You know, they had they've been in jail or locked up before. They might have got a ticket or something. I mean, they did a good job on that to let us know, because if you were to look it up online, you couldn't find anything about them. You really couldn't tell anything about those candidates. So I'm glad that they did that, and I think that'll help with the runoff as well that's coming up. That'll help us to give us a general idea of who we need to vote for. Now that it is down to the two candidates that's running off. So I think that helped us out a lot, and I'm real grateful for that. And I hope they continue that up. Let's see, the El Paso Black Business Network is thinking about Black History Month by producing a local Black-owned business directory. The directory will include churches, organizations, and resources. More information can be found at El Paso blackpages.com. Now, the goal is to help bring awareness to supporting Black businesses, especially those who have been negatively affected during this pandemic. Some people had to shut it down. Some people, especially those that just recently started up, the money that they said that they were giving some of these businesses, some of the Black-owned businesses probably never even seen or didn't know that they could apply for this stuff. So this is an opportunity for you all that own Black businesses to get your businesses in the pages, and so people will know where they can go to when they come to El Paso to support, so that we can continue to support each other. So the pandemic, Christmas is coming next month. How are you going to be shopping? How are you going to be shopping, Fedora?
Online. I just bought my grandbaby some stuff. And having it shipped there, to where they are. Probably Amazon. I'll be sending through Amazon. I know what Cyber Monday is Monday, so
yes,
I'll probably get on and look for some stuff to send back home through Amazon. Yeah, that's how I'm shopping, and yeah, that's it. I'm online shopping. Yeah, that's it.
I think
that's
same
the
thing.
easiest way.
I've been going online shopping for a long time now, because I hate going out during the holidays because of the traffic and the lines, and I get impatient. So therefore, I do the same thing you're doing. I'll shop online, and then I'll wrap it at the house and then take it to where I need to take it to, or mail it to them and tell me a Christmas gift's on the way. So be looking for it. But other than that, I'm not doing anything different according to the pandemic, because I don't think it is safe to get out there right now, especially during Christmas holiday, because everybody's shopping, and then they're only going to allow so many people in the store. Now, if you have the patience to stand in line to wait to buy the item, the PlayStation 5 that's out for $500 or more, hey, more power to you, but it's not that serious to me.
Not at all.
And then they're selling to the people for $1,200 on the streets. More power to you. That's a used car. Yeah, where I'm at right now, they were standing
That's
outside
crazy.
very
Are
early,
you
and it
serious?
wasn't that many. Yep, and it wasn't that many PlayStation 5s available when they did get in the store. So and then now they turn around selling them for like $1,200 and people are buying them. It's not that serious. Your child does not need a game that bad. I'm
Not at
sorry,
all.
not that bad.
But a lot of these are grown people buying them for themselves.
Some people, yeah, so grown
These
people are buying them for themselves. Those gamers, so they're buying them for themselves. So, same thing with them. I don't see the seriousness of
got
it.
too much time on your hands. Way too much
During the
time.
pandemic, man, you bored. You got to find something to do. What you want them to do. That's their new thing.
I guess. I don't know. I never got into gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. People can make money off of it, so hey, more power to you.
Don't let
get
somebody
paid for it.
Yeah, don't let somebody play like that to whereas you spend that type of money because you want to give your child something that you never had when you was coming up. It's not that serious. I think that if you sit down and explain to your child, they'll understand. There's other it's out now. So once
later,
they'll start coming in the stores and you can get them.
Yep.
So now you don't have to rush out to get it right now. So upcoming shows. Some of you have submitted topics for us to address. If you like to be a guest on Suite 915 for the following upcoming shows, just let us know. We want to hear from you about the pros, cons, and everything in between about dating during the pandemic. We want to hear this, dating during the pandemic. During this pandemic, how will you celebrate the holidays? We would like to hear about that. Tell us about some of the things that you've already done. What did you do for the holiday, Thanksgiving, and what are your plans for Christmas? Are you planning to spend time with your family, even though some cities are saying to avoid large gatherings? So I will share with you. I visited my sister's home during the pandemic, and she didn't have a lot of people in her house. It was my mom, my nephew, and his kids, and her and her husband, and that's it. And that was it. That was the gist of it. And we ate, and everybody went to their separate corners of the room. We watched some football, and that was the end of that. So and I went to see one other person and was back here in her house. So I don't now. I'm serious about this thing. I'm not trying to give it to anybody, and I'm not trying to catch it from anybody. So we want to know what are you doing? What are your plans for Christmas holiday? Tell us for the college students. Hit us up on the real suite 915 at gmail.com. If you want to be a guest on the show, tell us what are your plans? What did you do during college during the pandemic? Let's talk about it. What are classes like? We want to know from you all too. We're not forgetting about you. That's the young people of the what's it called? Generation O, X, Y, Z.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Was it Y? Because we Generation X, right, Fedora? We Generation X, right? The millennial. They don't want to be called the millennial. They want to call the Y generation or something like that. So for you young people that are attending colleges, let us know what's going on. Come and talk to us.
I think it was probably easier for them to adjust because everything's already online mostly, and colleges are really online anyway, with the exception of when you go to class. So it was easy for them to transition to online stuff. I think the people who've had difficulty adjusting are like the high schoolers, middle schoolers, and oh my God, the babies, the elementary school kids, trying to keep their attention span on a computer for that length of time is like, my hat's off to any, I'm a educator, but my hat's off to any elementary educator, because those are the babies, and their attention spans are already low. So you have to be really creative, to keep them interested in a lesson or whatever is going on. So my hat's kudos to them. And just to know like topics like that, and then how people are adjusting mentally. Like this pandemic, it came out of nowhere. Nobody expected it. Nobody has like been able to wrap their minds around it. But just to know how mental health for people, how are you adjusting to it? Things that you're finding out about yourself, how are you coping with the, if it's a level of stress?
What about being around your significant other longer than you're usually around them during the pandemic? Like you see
your children too.
The children and
all the different ages.
Now you realize,
because they would have a break when they would go to school and come back. That's a break. Everybody's like in the huddle. All right, break. We go into our separate ways. But now it's like a lot of people aren't leaving the home, so everybody is in the house, and it's like you over there doing school, you over here doing work. You down there, and if you got a small baby, you got to take care of the baby plus work, and it gets crazy. So just how people doing mentally, how are you doing?
Okay. Our topic next week is mental health awareness during a pandemic. Our special guest is from Illinois, Miss Cassandra Harris, LCPC, and we'll be talking about mental health during the pandemic. So tune in with us next week and check that out. And if you have questions that you already want to ask, we can have it set up for her so that she can have the answers before you even get on there. So she'll be prepared. So mental health awareness during the pandemic. She want to talk a little bit about that, share some of her information with us, and we welcome it so that we can share it with you all. And we welcome. So Fedora. We've come to the end of another Sweet 915. We're in season 3. We thank you all for supporting us. And it's been great. We got some great things coming up. Remember, no topic is taboo. No topic is taboo. We talk about everything on here. So
bring us some more topics, y'all. Give us some ideas.
Yeah. People always want to talk about relationships. Fedora be pulling this on me, y'all, but it's all good. I'm ready.
What you mean? I pull it on you. What do you mean?
I'm ready.
Scared? Say you scared. Don't be scared.
I'm gonna get some of the men. I'm gonna get some of the men to come on here and tell you like it really is. But football season is going on, so we really ain't trying to talk about relationship right now. We want to talk about who's going to win the Super Bowl, and we already know. But I'm not gonna say nothing because I don't want to jinx them. But we already know who's going to win the Super Bowl, and it's not the Dallas Cowboys. But hey, it is what it is.
Nobody knows who's going.
So Fedora, what do you have for the people before we get out of here?
Same old final words. Keep loving your heart. Be safe. Go vote before the 3rd. Early voting is going on right now.
Early vote started on the 3rd, right? And
no, it already started. I think it'll end on the 3rd. It started the day after Thanksgiving, so I went like on Friday. So go to any poll to early vote, get it out of the way. Takes less than 5 minutes. Took me less than 5 minutes. In and out. That's driving up, parking included. So go in, do what you have to do, and get that done. Be safe for Christmas. Enjoy your family, but continue to be safe. Wear your mask. Stay 6 feet. And if somebody is up on your back, say, "Hey, back it up. Give me 6 feet."
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm gonna start doing in the store. I'm gonna turn around and be like, "Hey, back it up."
Yeah. Well, I just want to share something else with y'all before we get out of here about donations. If you would like to submit donations, our producer You can donate to paypal.me/Mocha Enterprises. You can Cash App $ Mocha Enterprises. Sponsor the Real Sweet 915 if you would like to be one of our sponsors at social media. Remember to when your donation, it goes to the Real Sweet 915 podcast. So we welcome your donations if you would like to. We're not saying that you have to. We appreciate you tuning in with us and supporting us these years that we've been on, and we're looking to expand. So we appreciate those donations and sponsorships if you would like to do that. So we appreciate
subscribe
that.
to our YouTube page.
Yep.
Sweet915.com. Subscribe
to the Sweet 915 YouTube page so you know when we're on.
Yep.
And, you can
hit the notification. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
That's it.
Right.
So thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Sweet 915. Have a blessed day. Be safe. And we hope to see you again next week. Bye.
Bye.